Hi guys, today I'm just going to go through the basics of 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗕 because I find that a lot of clubs they just kind of skim through groundwork and they don't necessarily go into great detail with how to hold someone down. So I'm just going to start off with 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗕 or scarf hold. Okay, so scarf hold is pretty much I'm in this position here. Okay, have my hand, this arm underneath my opponent's head, grasping the gi. My other arm, I've got my opponent's elbow and my armpit is catching his hand. Okay, my feet, my right foot's going to be here as a base to stop my opponent bridging this direction, and my foot is back there, not too far back where he can entangle my leg and get a half guard. Okay, and my head is down. That's a good 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗕. Also my weight, I'm not getting my weight directly on top of my opponent's sternum. That's the strongest part of his body, okay? So we don't want to be laying on the strongest part of our opponent's body. We want to be laying on the weakest, which is kind of like in the side of the ribs, okay? Which is in the side here. So I want my strongest parts on his weakest part, okay? So I'm here, and it should be quite uncomfortable for your opponent. Now, a couple of common things that people do wrong. The first one they do is have this foot like this, okay? And one problem with that is you tend, if your foot's up, you tend to start pushing this direction. And that's bad for two reasons. One, I've got my base is stuck here, so if I push this direction, he can trap my arm with his head and bridge and roll me, and I'm gone. Okay? And second of all, I'm now pushing him that direction, and I don't want to be pushing him anywhere. I want to be holding him down. Okay? So I make sure, first one is don't get this foot up. Okay? The second one is keep it down. Okay? Another thing a lot of people do is they really crank their opponent's head up and really pull. It is uncomfortable for your opponent, but they're not going to submit, and it's just no use, okay? Because if I start pulling my opponent's head back, one, he can cut me in the face and bring his leg over my head and push away, and he can escape that way, okay? So if I put heaps of pressure here, he's going to push with his leg, and I'm gone, okay? So he might do that. Another thing people do is they put their head too far forward. If my head too far forward, my body weight's going a little bit too far forward, and it's just going to help him bridge and maybe escape his arm to take my back. Okay? So if my head's too far, he might bridge this way, and now he may escape that arm out the back. Okay, so it's really important that your feet are in a good spread. Okay, they're in good position. They're not here. They're not here. Because if this foot is stopping him bridging this way, go, stopping. If my foot's here, now bridge. I used to use my hand, which means I've let go of this arm, which means he now takes my back. He can spin underneath and take my back and escape the hold down. So again, I'm in this position, okay, my legs are evenly spread. If this leg's too far back, he's going to half guard my leg and get it away. So one thing I like to do when I hold people down in 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗕 to help me remember these cues is I try to bring this hand, instead of grasping the gi, I grasp my own leg. Okay, that just helps me remember to keep my foot in a forward position where there's a good base. It also keeps his head off the ground to stop him bridging, so he's lost a lot of power. And lastly, now I can hold on to this. I make sure that I don't lean too far back, but if my opponent tries to sit up at me, I put my head down, okay, to counterbalance what he's doing. If he tries to bridge this direction, well, I lean back a little bit. He leans forward again, and go back down. Okay, so there's a constant going back and forwards, and it's all about feeling your opponent and what he's doing, rather than just going and letting your opponent bridge and roll you wherever you like. You have to be wary of where your opponent's moving in order to hold him down so you can adjust if need be. So yeah guys, there's just the basics of 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗕. I really hope you picked up some tips on how to, stop your opponent, just how to hold him down. Thanks for watching.